Hello there. It's your tiresome, very familiar by now face. It is 5:29 in the morning. I have not been able to sleep all night. Hopefully the microphone's working a little better. I had to reposition it, which is probably a bad idea because I still have a couple more chapters to do on my book. I this computer makes massive files, so I'm working on downloading the 12th part of it. Um, One of the fun things that's happened around here is I'm starting to see cockroaches. It's been a long time since I've had to live with cockroaches or roaches. It's been so long that I forget that they're just roaches. Nobody calls them cockroaches. But yeah, there's people living upstairs that are not supposed to be living up there, of course. And well, you can buy these like roach motel things, but I killed one today, and I saw one on the wall here, and you know, once they get a foothold, you got a problem. And yeah, the backyard used to be my domain when the hood people lived there. There was like an unspoken agreement that they did not go back there. I had my garden back there, and I would sit back there in the sun. This is 2.5 years ago, before my knee became totally impossible. And earlier today, I got the window open, and I hear them making plans for setting up furniture and stuff back there. People that aren't even supposed to live here. And I have to continue my life somehow with this knee that feels like there's little impish devils inside it, stabbing it all the time. And as you know, I'm jumping through all the hoops the medical community wants me to, and I'm not getting anything done. I couldn't sleep last night as well, so I might have had a chance to get a ride into Altman today to try to get my records faxed in person, which may or may not work. I don't know. Later in the week, I can maybe arrange some kind of trip in there, though I haven't been feeling particularly well for a very long time. But I really should have something to drink right now. But as you know, I am a broken person. I am broken in every way imaginable. I'm as broke can be. And interesting thing happened is I don't know if you remember this. I don't even know. I have very few people that watch these videos, so I don't know how many people actually follow the story. Follow my story or what's going on with me, or really give a damn one way or another. But when I was a young man and my health was a little better, my sister had a child out of wedlock, and didn't have any father figure. Didn't seem to have a whole lot of friends. And I always liked him, a smart kid, real smart kid. And it was a strange turn of events, that, I don't know, I had a cat, and the cat was sick, and I didn't have enough money to take care of the cat. This was like when I was in my 20s, when I was really out to lunch. And I got attached. I was attached to the cat, but I was just like, you got to live or die on your own, bud. And I wasn't even connected emotionally enough to put the cat out of its misery. So, it died in my arms, more or less, in a horrible fashion, which I will spare you the details of. And I took it to another emotionally disconnected person's yard. I carried it in a garbage bag because I just didn't want to throw it in the garbage like trash. I had the cat for years, and I wanted to bury it. And I didn't have any yard at the time, so I went to somebody's house who did have a yard. That was a relation of mine. And it was very, the cat died in the middle of the night. It was very early in the morning before sunrise. And I rode down there on a bicycle carrying the dead cat in a garbage bag. And I stole a shovel out of the neighbor's yard. And I dug a hole in this guy's yard. And I buried the cat in there. And I was, of course, very shook up. And I have a fair amount of guilt in me, being raised Catholic, and having a mother that knew how to use guilt when the situation called for it. And plus, that was a pretty shattering experience, and understanding what I did. And a person whose yard I buried it in was so emotionally disconnected that they criticized me for it. I said, what do you want me to do? You want me to go out there and dig the cat up? Is that what you want me to do? Because he was like upset. He's like, there's so many animals buried out there already. And, it's like, now is not the time. And I'm like choked up and I'm almost crying. Like my voice is breaking and stuff, but I'm not crying. And anyways, because I was that disconnected emotionally, that I would actually do that, that I would actually let an animal suffer like that I had fondness for. And, not at least shoot it in the head or take it, I just didn't I didn't want to, either didn't have the money or didn't want to spend the money on the vet. I don't know, but I could at least had somebody who had a gun shoot it in the head. It was that bad off. It's completely miserable. And the cat used to lay like right here on the pillow next to my head and sleep all the time. And so obviously I was attached to the cat. Just a very insane person, very sick in the head in my 20s because of the way I was raised around killers and bad people and insane people. And because I went through surgeries and CRPS and all those things when I was young and saw no future for myself. And, actually had to go to high school. Talk about ostracism and being an outcast. Had to go to high school on a special bus with a quad walker. And with my personality, I don't have an overwhelming personality as far as people liking me. So school was fun. That going on, sitting, just being separated and alienated from everyone. But anyways, what that had to do with that is like, what that has to do with my nephew is that like that shook me up. Because I was like I am that fucked up that I did that, It made me feel something. I felt something, And I was like, I saw my nephew as I don't know how old he was. He was young. But this is the same nephew that my sister was holding that I pushed out of the way when I confronted my dad for the first time when I was 20 years old and he was about 50 and could have ripped me limb from limb, but I did not care. At that point, I was in death wish sort of mode. But So, I started reaching out to my nephew, and I started, like, being a friend to him. And, I found out that, I actually like this guy. I actually like this kid. He's a smart kid. He's raised by a rigid mother. He just doesn't have any buddy around him to teach him how to loosen up and to have fun. So I would arrange to have little adventures with him and go on rafting trips and just do goofy things that, you know, that were more suited to his age than my age, a lot of them. And I sent him. So, anyways, due to a family circumstance that I can't go into, I was unable to attend his wedding. He got married very young when he was 20. And around Christmas, I wanted him to get it around Christmas. I wrote him a thing, and I was like 9.5 years is long enough for us to be estranged from each other. There's no reason for it. It's like, I made sure to tell him that I always liked him and I loved him when he was young. I don't know him now or what kind of man he's become, but I know he's become a man now, and I didn't hear from him. So I contacted him on Christmas and I heard from him on Easter. The ironic thing is on Easter, which I guess this would be 2 days after Easter because it's Tuesday morning. The other house, the house in the city that I'm living in where I have family, I'm just done with them. I just don't want, I got the guy that's had the crack mule outside offering to walk down with a plate of food to give for me for Easter dinner. I don't know if they ever invited me or was expecting me to come over, but then my aunt, who somehow miraculously survived, made this long message about please pick up and all that, and I'm like, F all you people. I'm not even getting up. I'm not even walking on the slide to get up to answer that phone. Because I can be like a cold-hearted bastard like that. And I'm just done with that household. And I talked to my brother today, and I'm like, I'm done. I said, I don't have any family. And my brother was like, I'm your family. And I said, no, you're my brother. And I said, curtain. Yeah, now I gotta edit this. Damn. Well, anyways, I had this guy that played for Ohio State. And I said, he played for the Buckeyes and was a big deal. Because we have some big people in our family. So I was like, yeah, he's my family too, according to that definition. I never met the guy, and all I know about him is he's an asshole that washed out of NFL football because he had a bad attitude. So, my brother's like constantly worried about, me, like, because I don't talk to my sister anymore, and I told him my sister is dead to me. It's like, and if she wants to fess up to reality, that's fine. I don't know if it's even fine anymore. It's been a year and a half. She's made me suffer, and made me suffer like at the worst time to go through emotional suffering. Yeah, this is some really like therapy crap I'm dumping on you now. But yeah, I was just like surprised that I got a response from him. And he said he wrote me like, I sent him a USB, whatever the things are. The things you plug in the USB. I haven't had any sleep, so you have to excuse me. But it was shaped like a guitar. I guess those little things that's got so many gigabytes in there. And I made him a little video, and I, spoke from my heart and whatever around Christmas, and made sure it got there before Christmas. And then he said he made one after that, but he never got around to mailing it. And I imagine he's afraid, Everybody's afraid of emotional pain because emotional pain is the worst thing there is. Like what my sister did to me is like I would take 10 beatings before I would take that again. I'm not even kidding. I've been beaten up before. I mean, just space them out a little bit, okay? Don't kill me. Just space them out a little bit, give me time to heal, but just, just mark it off on the calendar every month. Just give me a good solid beating rather than what I went through with that. So, everybody fears, I think, emotional pain. And that's some pretty deep-seated stuff there. And he knows, you know, he he's not stupid. Very, very, very intelligent kid. You know, he knows that there's some deep-seated stuff going on here that he may or may not want to know about. So, you know, I'm not going to have a therapist anymore, so you guys will have to do. Because my therapist is Major Preggers, and she's, after this baby she's going to have here in July. That's when the baby's due anyway. She's not going to do home-to-home therapy anymore, even after the baby's, old enough to where they can do daycare or whatever with it. She's just done with that, moving on with that segment of her life. I often wonder about that because, I'm so much brighter than a lot of these people that I talk to. And it's like, it's not a matter of being smart. It's a matter of, being adjusted enough to be socialized, get along with people, go through the schooling, get the papers, get the papers, get the papers, get the work, and that you read the books. I've read the books too. I'd be willing to bet that I know a little bit more about human nature than over half the people that call themselves psychologists or psychiatrists. Um, but yeah, that was kind of, I don't know. It's a pleasant surprise hearing from him, but it's a scary surprise too. As fragile as I am and how badly things are going for me, I don't know what the next step is. I just wrote him thank you so much in the email. Just like that's all I wrote him was thank you so much for writing me back or responding to me. Because I thought he was just blowing me off, which I could understand after all that time and not going to his wedding and all that. And him not wanting to dig into the reasons why. Because that was certainly anomalous behavior, unusual behavior for someone like me, you know. Um, yeah, it's a lot of pain to deal with in a lot of different ways. And to make it all the more fun is I won't get to sleep until the sun rises. But my doctor's appointment for tomorrow is for 3:20, and I don't have to be ready till 2:50, so it's all good. I can still get 6 hours of sleep, drink coffee, and watch baseball in the morning, and go in and ask my primary caregiver for a scooter, and I don't know, that gabapentin stuff's supposed to be non-narcotic, and maybe I'll stick with that. Nothing helps this knee. This is like an opiate type of situation with this knee hurting like it is. And I go to the Cleveland Clinic, and the guy's like, well, they're out of their depth dealing with it. I'm probably out of my depth dealing with it too. In other words, I don't want to operate on you either. So that means I have to start the whole process over tomorrow maybe and talk to my doctor and say, like, can you give me another orthopedist that I can get registered to? And I don't even want to focus on that. I want to focus on getting a mobility scooter. So I'm going to need that regardless of whether I get the knee operated on or not. And, pain relief for the knee. I can't be hitting I haven't seen the guy for like months. So I can't be hitting the guy with all my problems. And you know, if he's also one of them guys like, well, you got to get a colonoscopy, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like I don't got to do nothing. I don't even got to pay. Most people say you got to death and taxes. That's it. I don't even got to pay taxes, man. All I got to die. That's all I got to do. You know, so I don't have to do none of that shit that he tells me. And you know, he's always wanting me to do this, wanting me to do that. It's like, man, just stop with the medical racket stuff, you know. It's bad enough you go into places and they spring surprise x-rays on you and stuff. But, yeah. I was thinking about it. It's like I got like maybe 4 people left in the world that I think care about me. And it's not a matter, I don't even think it's a matter that, you know, it's hard to explain, but like there's love from healthy people and then there's love from unhealthy people. When you get love from unhealthy people, lots of times it's worse than getting no love at all. If you get love from a person that's not well in the head, you know, you're just better off without it, without affection. Then I watch TV and stuff, and it's like the one thing that I really missed in life was just like a loving relationship with a woman. And don't really care for dudes, but I mean, I don't know, just that kind of intimacy, just like love, the whole thing I missed out on. And and now I'd have to find an insane person now, or a masochist, you know, all the problems I have, which I don't even go into all of them. And yeah, that's the thing that gets to me. I shouldn't be talking on here. Now I gotta edit out my last name yet again. I'm just exhausted, but I got a troubled and worried mind, and a voice that's shot. I have been uploading my books. I want to upload all my chapters and just put them all out on the same day. Publish. You know. I'm still probably like, it'll happen before next Sunday. I'll get my book out, which isn't my book, but rather Ted Kazimirov's book. Maybe that's why his writing is so weird to me. Is maybe because of his Russian heritage. I don't know, but his phrasing is very strange to me. And sometimes I read. Yet the funny part, man, is like I was messing with the chapter where I read it 3 minutes at a time. Smooth as glass, man. The other parts of the book before I knew about that stuff, where I've got to read 15, 20 minutes, you know, solid. You know, just not screw up for that long. You know, I think it's because of the relaxation level. I can be relaxed because I was like, well, I screwed that up. I'll just boop. I'll just go back, do it again. Oh, I only did a minute and 40 right this time. Okay, I'll go back and do it again. And it's like I can keep it, what would you call it? I can keep the continuity as far as the tone, because it's pretty quick how you do it. It's like I was shocked at how well that turned out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just releasing that, because even though I didn't write the book, it's still a creative thing to do. If you ever try to narrate a book, it's not as easy as you think. You know, I mean, just go on LibriVox, spell with a B, and listen to some of the people that read on there. And it's like there's plenty of times where I'm like, I want to listen to this book, It's just the guy's just not good at it. The girl's just not good at it. You know. So it's not that easy a thing to narrate and to read aloud and to narrate a story. And this is only my second attempt at it, so I think I did pretty good for only my second attempt at it, at a book. So I could be learning how to do this, which is kind of cool. Though it means a lot of time on my back, which probably isn't good for me, but walking hurts like a bitch. But yeah, yesterday was weird just because, you know, not yesterday, but Easter Sunday is just because I didn't answer the phone. I didn't see nobody. I kept to myself. I was tired of family. I just don't want no family. I have family upon family upon family. If you're talking about blood relation, God, I must have like 150 cousins. I mean, I had literally 20 aunts and uncles on both sides of the family. I mean, that equates to a lot of cousins. And there's a lot of them I've never even met or known. There's even a famous one I've never even seen in person except for on the TV, playing for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that could tip you off to my last name right there. But anyways, so yeah, that was a big surprise hearing from my nephew, and I do have a lot of good memories associated with him. Almost all good memories. And yeah, again, me sharing what I share on here probably further alienate me from people that um, consider family and friends, but I don't understand that, because it's like, if you're ashamed of yourself, if you're ashamed of what you do, be different, do different, act different, you know. There's nothing that is hidden that won't be uncovered anyway at some point in your life. And you can die with secrets, but most of the stuff gets uncovered. Who you are, whatever weird things you're into. I like ABBA, okay? I like the band ABBA. That eventually came out, I kept that secret for many years, man. Big ABBA fan. I can't tell you the name of the blonde woman with the voice, but voice is pretty compelling. It's good pop songs. But of course, my classic rock fans, you fag. All I do is talk on here anymore because I can't do anything else. Does this sound like an echo? That's a pretty significant thing. Get any kind of response out of my nephew. I know where he lives, and I've seen his house on Google. That's about it. I haven't talked to him for 9.5 years. And, yeah, I don't know. I just want to move out of this city and away from the house. I don't want anything more to do with crack or meth. I'm sorry. I mean, call me a weirdo. I just don't want anything more to do with those types of substances. I'll throw heroin in there too, but I don't have much experience being around heroin people. But, yeah. Tomorrow's the 23rd, so that's actually my refill date. but I won't get a chance, I don't think, to refill my medication. Because I don't have any friends or family around here anymore. So there's no reason for me to stay here. Now, next week, the landlord's going to truck me around, but that's next week. I have that empty pill bottle for that I can get refilled for 120 volume. And just keep taking that crap until they figure something out with this knee. I don't know. You know, I figure I went to go to the Cleveland Clinic. I thought the Cleveland Clinic was like the macho can-do people, but this guy's like, they're out of my depth. If they're out of their depth, I'm probably out of my depth too. I was like, you work for the Cleveland Clinic. Have some fucking pride. But anyways, that is, yeah. I don't know. That is the big news. I don't really have anything else to report. I can babble on and in my semi-conscious state. 6 o'clock in the morning. It's too early to feed the cats because the raccoons will just come and eat it. I don't mind feeding raccoons, but I'm a little bit cash light right now. And if depending upon what my doctor tells me today, in about 10 hours, yeah, it seems about right. In about 10 hours, I might have to drop $1,100 on a scooter, so I'm going to be poor again. And I don't feel like selling anything due to my depression. Got a boat out there to sell. I got a $1,500 guitar, a $300 odd. I got lots of stuff I could sell if I wanted to raise cash. The thing of it is like with my knee like it is now, I'm just gonna have to tough it out. I'm just tired of toughing it out. I've been toughing it out ever since I remember. Ever since I was 14 years old, I've been toughing it out. I'm going on 52 years old. And I gotta like do stuff with this knee all fucked up and walk around on a walker and take care of business if it's not gonna get, I can't put my life on hold permanently waiting for these assholes to do what needs done and do something with my knee. I think it's the CRPS influence in their decision, frankly. I think if I was healthy, there wasn't that CRPS in my chart, I think I'd already been cut open and treated. Honestly. I got the heart thing in there too, you know, it's like they don't want the responsibility. Yeah, they don't want to get out the net and fish out that spider that's swirling around in the drain, because they're afraid the spider's relatives are going to sue them if things don't go well. Just bending that thing in bed, man, hurts. What an endurance test. Yeah, but I think it's just best. I'm just honest with these people. You know, it's like you just care about me because I got a little bit extra money. They're just sick people, you know. They're just raised wrong. They're just sick people. And actually, all my family's just not well. I mean, you get raised around killers and people that do other heinous things that will go unmentioned, and you just get raised around bad people. You're not going to grow up right in the head. So it's not really completely their fault. They're not like they don't act like they do just because they're evil. They're just not well people. At the same time, like I've said a billion times, if someone's not a well person and they punch you in your nose, you still got a broken nose. You know, whether Marvin Hagler punches you in the nose or some guy in a psych unit ward gown punches you in the nose. If they both hit about the same, you're gonna have a busted nose. Either way, you end up getting hurt. But that was this decision I'm making with this household will leave me nobody in this neighborhood to depend on, except for I can maybe get my landlord to help me, who I fucking hate, and it makes me feel like a shitheel that I have to pretend to like him, because I'm not in a position financially or physically to, call him out on him being a horrible, horrible landlord. And hey, if he wants to play if these people are letting roaches in here now, and if he wants to pay the fumigation bills or whatever, man. I mean, I don't. I could skip the whole scooter idea and just liquidate everything and just move the hell out of this place, just leave it trashed, and just leave. Find some other place to live, but I don't know if I'm well enough to do that. But I know that staying here could make me sicker. It's just because these people up here are just unbelievable, indescribable. It sounds like people running around all the time and dragging things across the floor all the time. Yeah. And my landlord, all he cares about is getting paid, and I really hate the guy now after all these years and all that he's put me through. And I don't know. And that's the guy I've got to ask next week. And that makes me feel like a shitty person. Unless, of course, I want to blow money on, maybe Ubers are cheap. I don't know. I don't know how to handle this situation. I mean, how do you go into like complete I'm alone in the world independence mode where you don't have people that you know, and you're just like, what kind of life is that anyway? Where you're just like paying, just using professional people for everything. No moral support, no friendly faces, just strangers. They just, you're counting on the green faces of dead presidents to make them your friends. Like, here's some money, sir, do this for me. Here's some money, sir, do that for me. But then, if you look at it that way, that's what I've been doing with these people over here. That's what I'm for them anyway. So, I don't know. I guess it amounts to the same thing, except for there's no pretense when I'm talking to some guy I don't even know and handing over money to help me out, or people that are pretending to be my friends, and I'm handing over money to them. But this is 38 minutes, and if you aren't tired of me, honey, I was tired of me. And I'm talking about the whole last week, or the whole month of April. It's just I've been on here all the damn time. And all started because some freaking crackheads show up here bothering me, disturbing my sleep schedule. And when you're in pain, it is not all that easy to go to sleep. And when you have a sleep schedule, your sleep schedule is very important. If somebody blows up your phone at 12:30 at night and pisses you off to where you're too mad to go to sleep until, I don't know about what time it is now. Man, fuck them people. You know what? Tired of them. I ain't dealing with that. Let that ship sink. I actually printed out a story called The Raft. I don't know if it's the right story or not. I might be having it confused with parts of Stand By Me, but it's a Stephen King thing where thematically it's about having friends pull you down or hold you down, you know, and hold you back. And I think in the story, in the raft story, if I don't get around to reading it, there's like some kind of blob monster thing, and you know, one guy's getting eaten by it, and he's grabbing the ankle of this other guy who's in trying to drag him down with him, and it's like sometimes people are like that; they just want to drag you down with them, you know, drag you into their madness and their stupidity. But yeah, I gotta get off here and try to go to sleep. Wish I had some gum, or I'll get some juice or something. That water ain't cutting it. I'll listen to this first because I'll have to edit out. I just said the guy's name again. I have to edit out the dude's name so you don't know my name. But it is fun watching a guy playing NFL football and big time college football. And you're related to him, and your name's on his jersey. You know? Yeah, it was kind of fun. But yeah, the date today is the 23rd, so it'll be a couple of days before I put this out anyway. Because now I'll have to edit it, and I'm working like a maniac on that book to keep my word. I spent I don't know how many hours on it today just to keep my word on getting it out this week, like I want to. And I get in a bad habit of, like, you know, being fancy with the pictures and stuff like that, which my glasses over here takes a long time. But yeah, that's the main news. Is like a blast from the past, from a happier time. You seen what I look like now? The last time you saw me, I wasn't a physical wreck. So I showed, you know, I did what I'm doing now, except for I was wearing a shirt halfway. And I said, this is what's happened to me. This is what I look like now. Because 9.5 years ago, I didn't look like this. Things were a little bit different. Yep, 30 miles on a bike, 5-mile walks were easy. 40-pound dumbbells. We're talking 4 cardio versions ago, and a benzodiazepine dependency ago, and a meth summer ago, and a crackhead summer ago, and a hood summer ago, and boat drama, parent death. We're talking about a lot of things that went down in that 9.5 years that aged me quite a bit. But yeah, like I said, you won't see this for a couple of days anyway, because now I gotta edit it because I'm just exhausted. But too much pain. I have to pass out. If I was a drinker, this is where I would be, like slamming down the whiskeys and drinking until I passed out. Or if I was a pill popper, this is where I would be chugging pills until I passed out. But instead, I'm doing this. And that's a good 40 minutes, I think. So it's or a bad 40 minutes, depending upon how well I made myself understood. My voice starting to sound like Howlin' Wolf. Let's try this. Let's say, sitting on top of the world one summer day, she went away. She's gone left me, Lord, she's gone to stay. But I don't worry, no, I don't worry. 'Cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Let's face it, ain't nobody sound like Howlin' Wolf. Ain't nobody ever gonna sound like Howlin' Wolf. I'll talk to you later.